Very pleasant night, my Straight Talk family, and welcome all to another edition of Straight Talk. And I greet you wherever you are around the world, because we are on the World Wide Web. So let me say greetings, and I welcome all to Straight Talk and thank those who share the link. Because when you do share that link, we get first timers. And we welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk coming from the beautiful the Federation of St. Kitts, two beautiful islands, one lovely paradise. So let me say a very pleasant night, St. Kitts. A very pleasant night, Nevis, and a very pleasant night to the entire Caribbean region. And to those who are joining me for the first time, I say welcome, and just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national and international regional interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And for those of you in the Kittitian division and Caribbean diaspora, I say greetings one more time, and I will say good night, I will say good afternoon, and I will say good morning, because in the diaspora we reach and communicate with you in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, and of course all over North America. So one of such greetings I know will be applicable to that region in which you now find yourselves. And as your host, I always pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. As I'm always reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine, an excerpt which goes like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. And let me remind you, my Straight Talk family, and inform the first-timers in particular, that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We never try to make it more interesting, neither by omission nor by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism. Far from that. We are not about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we lead on the facts, and it is my bounden duty, my Straight Talk family, to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, transparency, in St. Kitts, Nevis, and all around the globe, because we are joined together with people across our federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. And some of you we know, some we have met, some we may never ever meet physically, for sure. And some will agree with the positions of truth advanced on Straight Talk, and some will disagree. And that's fine, because we promote what I call a diversity of views. But what will sadden me, I will hasten to add each time, is if we ever become, I should say, disagreeable. So let us thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let's therefore hope and pray for the day when we all will sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those, like I said, who share the link as you bring first-timers. Please continue to do so. And for the first-timers in particular, and for everyone, if you love Straight Talk, tell it to me. Tell it to the world, rather. I take that back. If you love Straight Talk, tell it to the whole wide world. Tell it to your friends. Spread the word. If you don't love Straight Talk, come tell it to me. And I must always remind you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screen. And I would remind us that 2 minutes is a long time to express yourselves. So we'll be a little more strict on the time we allot, because we want you to have your say, but we want others to have their say as well. And for those who like the cloak of anonymity, as I call it, we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your screen, straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. That's straighttalkpatches, that's one word, at gmail.com. And there's some of you who have made donations and have promised to make donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk. We thank you. But those who have not as yet, we thank you in advance. I must reassure you that no matter how small or large your contribution is, it will help us to continue this important service. So others who wish to donate, and if you wish to donate, there are no limits to donations. You can donate anytime you wish, every time. Just simply scan the code on your screen. You'll access a payment form. Very simple process. In a few minutes, you will be done. So thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. Let me say a special welcome to my Straight Talk Junior Brigade, young Tristan, Dwayne, Shama, Kevin, Rue, Travis Travon, Neema, and Soraya, and that special lady in St. Louis. And on a sad note, we extend condolences on the passing of Mrs. Elaine Stevens of New Pondside, who lived a full life for 100 years, 1 century. We extend condolences to her son Frank and her entire family, and we trust that her soul will rest in peace. We heard as well of the passing of Nurse Iselin Pitt. I really saw her or communicated with her spiritually, because we all go to the same church. I was happy though that when I learned that she did not show up to work and her colleague nurses went to look for her. And the rest was sad news. But we extend condolences to her entire family, her brother, daughter, her granddaughter, and her entire family, the nursing fraternity. And my Straight Talk family, I can say anything, but Jimmy Cliff said, who feels it knows it. So all I like to add is that death is a process. So for those who are mourning the loss of other family who we may not have heard of, we do extend our sincere condolences as well. We usually begin with our observations in review, which is an integral part of Straight Talk. Then we move into our thesis, and following our thesis, we include your calls, your emails, as mentioned earlier, to allow your full participation. Yes, you get an opportunity to have your say here on Straight Talk. And our observations highlight the current issues. We do some reflection. We ask a few questions, like what was accomplished, how it has helped others, what changed since, and what is expected next, and of course, what new we have learned as a people. And after our observation, we will begin our thesis for tonight, which I have titled, "Is CBI Scamp with another name is still a scam?" So please, therefore, do not change that platform, that link. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and for those who have the Alexa app as well, how could I forget that? All you have to say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. And we thank the owner of that platform for giving us access at a modest cost. And we're thankful for that. My Straight Talk family, we have one observation tonight. I'm just going to raise one observation tonight, as I'm going to spend some time on my thesis. And I trust you will understand. But on our last episode, the aunt of 15-year-old Caliquan Woodley, or Caliquan Woodley, however that's pronounced, Aunt Jennifer, she called into Straight Talk and suggested that there was foul play and a cover-up in the tragic killing of this young man. And that's a bold statement. But the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton, has not responded. Here's what the aunt of the deceased had to say. A part of what she said, a matter of fact, was this.
And that officer was done a brutal, wicked act to the innocent child. Huh? Look at that. I feel it somewhat on his hand. But he got up there. He not sleep.
No slumber.
He not sleep. He ain't sleeping. Okay. He got the eye open. That water after you do to that child over where get over there. God see him. God see him. And when he ready, he gonna move. And that officer, and I ain't gonna stop praying for him. I'm gonna continue praying. I'm gonna continue praying. I'm gonna continue praying. I'm gonna continue reading the Bible. I'm gonna continue going in that Psalm. And I'm gonna read that Bible. I'm gonna read that Bible at him because he hurt. The Bogan family hurt. The Woodley family hurt. Our heart tonight are broken. Our heart tonight are broken.
And many hearts, I'm sure, having listened to that lady, many hearts were broken. I'm sure we all felt the pain of this family. But it also reminds us of the vehicular killing as well of young Dr. Simonette Williams. And unless Straight Talk missed it, we are still awaiting the decision of the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith, who told us this several weeks ago. He said this to the nation.
The circumstances surrounding Dr. Williams' passing necessitate a careful and comprehensive examination, and I will ensure that all available and relevant evidence is fully considered before making any determinations.
What is taking DPP Smith to make this determination? Director of Public Prosecution Adlai Smith owes the country an explanation for his inordinate delay in rendering his final determination. He got the autopsy report. The scene was reconstructed by an expert. So what is the hold-up, Adlai Smith? But Straight Talk will continue to follow this story till the very end. If you missed it, we apologize, but we have not heard a thing from the Director of Public Prosecution, neither the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton. That's my observation for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I'll move right into my thesis, which I've titled, as mentioned earlier, A CBI Scamp with Another Name is Still a Scamp. And in my last episode, I made a bold statement to it. The Jew government is the biggest scam in our political history. And some people got comfortable by ignoring the fact that I spoke only to the highest degree. As you know, there's the positive big, the comparative bigger, and the superlative biggest. And what I said is the Jew government was not only the biggest scam, or not only a scam. So it's obvious I could have made mention of the big scam, or the biggest scam, but I chose to focus on the biggest scam. As one of my professors would always encourage us to get up to date during his lectures. But tonight, I have come to tell you that a CBI scamp with another name is still a scam. And even if an unscrupulous leader is called Prime Minister instead of CBI scamp, he or she would still be considered a scamp because they indulged in fraud and or they tried to cover up the scam. Even if this unscrupulous one is called Deputy Prime Minister, or another one is called Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the other one is called Minister of Public Infrastructure, or worse yet, even he is called Attorney General. I put it to you that a CBI scam with another name is still a scam. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we boast that our CBI program is the oldest one in the world. And when I say CBI, for those who may be hearing it for the first time, I'm referring to our Citizenship by Investment program, which is the oldest program in the world, established since 1984. And that is so true. But from the onset, it was apparently fraught with corruption, as back then it was reliably rumored that it was a vehicle used for money laundering, drug trafficking, and guns, and it had ties to the Colombian Cali cartel and the IRA. It was the brainchild of one man, Dr. William V. Herbert, who is seen here pictured at the United Nations General Assembly. He was back then the United Nations permanent representative, the UN ambassador as we're called. And Dr. Herbert was also the founder and leader of the People's Action Movement. It was, like I said, a one-man operation. And many stories were told about this one man who disappeared nigh 31 years ago in 1994. But Straight Talk will not repeat any of those stories, as Billy, as he was affectionately called, is dead. Thus, he cannot defend himself. So we won't say anything more about Billy Herbert. However, in 1995, there was a change in government and subsequently a change in the vision and direction of the Citizenship by Investment program. Fast track to 2006. And my Straight Talk family, Douglas was not afraid to lay claim to the ownership of the revamped CBI program back in 2006. He said this, my Straight Talk family.
I remember well what it was like when, as Prime Minister, I recognized that we would have to chart a stable and sustainable path forward once it became clear that the sugar agricultural economy and country could no longer be the mainstay of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those were quite tumultuous times globally. But I was determined to put in place the policies and the guardrails to ensure that, firstly, we established new avenues of economic activity and growth, whilst ensuring, secondly, that there was zero social upheaval, zero political instability, and zero domestic tumult. In fact, it is because of those concerns that we created what has now become famous as the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, the SIDF.
And yes, my Straight Talk family. But if we take a glance, for example, at the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report of 2006, you will glean from same that it concluded back then that the inadequately regulated economic citizenship program in St. Kitts and Nevis was an area of concern to the United States. Now, what is the INCR, the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report? It's an annual report by the Department of State to Congress, prepared in accordance with the Foreign Assistance Act. Volume 2 of the report stated that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis continues to be vulnerable to money laundering and other financial crimes. The report recommended quite clearly that St. Kitts and Nevis should curtail its program. But that was 19 years ago. And yes, we had during that 19-year period 3 different administrations. The latter years of the Denzel Douglas Labour administration, 7 years of the Harris-led Team Unity administration, and nigh 3 years of the Terence Michael July administration. But you know what is interesting in this whole saga, my Straight Talk family? It is the long, complicated story of this French filmmaker, Philippe Martinez. And the closer I got to the story, I found out that it is not fictional, but it is based on real facts. And yes, the facts are that Philippe Martinez confessed, according to the New York Times, that 20 years ago, in 2005, he transgressed the law and was convicted in his home country of France. And some people ask me, hasn't he paid his debt to society and is now a rehabilitated man? But that is not the focus of my discussion tonight. Because as I get closer to the facts, Philippe Martinez reminds me of Elon Musk, except that Elon was appointed by President Trump to head the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE as they call it, for no salary. And Philippe has volunteered, it seems, to head the St. Kitts and Nevis Department of Government Transparency, DOGT, they call it, for free or for no money. I use the word volunteered because Philippe said that his lawsuit against Dr. July is not for money. He said this, my Straight Talk family, and should we believe him?
That we've made that lawsuit against Terence Drew in St. Kitts and Nevis is not to make any money. Even if we win, we don't make any money. We don't even get paid for our legal costs, okay? And I would say that Mr. Kelsick, our lawyer, who has made a tremendous work, basically works almost for free because he's just, he doesn't ask me for money because he knows the fight that we're meeting, and he's working really to fight for his country.
Martinez also said that MSR filed the judicial review to uncover the fraud taking place in the CBI programs in the Caribbean, the entire Caribbean, my Straight Talk family. He said this.
What is the judicial review? And why did MSR file the judicial review? MSR makes no money, not even $1, not even the reimbursement of our legal costs to do that lawsuit. MSR have been saying what is now common knowledge all over the Caribbean, that a fraud took place in the citizenship by investment program.
My Straight Talk family, Martinez also spoke to the abandoned projects littered all over St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, take your car and drive around the country. What do you have? A bunch of abandoned CBI projects that are killing the landscape of the country. Why? Why does your government allow that? Ask yourself the question. That's not complicated to understand.
It's not complicated to understand. Why? In my constituency alone, I can think of the Till-Off, right along the main corridor in Frigate Bay. The Till-Off, an eyesore. I can think about Pelican Bay, my Straight Talk family, also in our constituency, another eyesore. Then there's also the Montebello residences, my Straight Talk family, another eyesore. And we ask why. It's obvious why. These investors have taken off with all the money and have not completed the projects. And what has the governments, and I say governments, because these have spanned governments, but in particular the Douglas Labour administration, what have they done? What will they do, my Straight Talk family? Because these projects these investors have no intention to complete them. When we look at Kitchen Hill, government spent $90 million from the SID pumped into Kitchen Hill. And Kitchen Hill has almost $50 million in claims for unfinished condo apartments. But contrary to what some may say, and I'm at variance when it comes to this, because I submit that Park Hyatt and Ramada are the only two hotels funded under the CBI program that were completed. The only two. So why is Mohammed Azaria outside of the same scrutiny as Yingjing? Because they completed Ramada. You may say it took them so many years. But ask yourself the question, did Ying make money and Mohammed lost money? What's the truth? What's the truth about these projects, my Straight Dog family? But that too is not the focus of our program tonight. The truth is, it seems that what emanated from the big scandal that erupted when Philippe and his investment partners were allocated 1,200 shares or units to develop a US $200 million project in the Whitegate area. However, the snake, Mark Brantley, a member then of the Team Unity cabinet, revealed publicly that the prison project was allocated 5,500 shares or units on an EC $80 million project. But the snake, Mark Brantley, was part of the collective decision of cabinet. Yes, decisions made by a cabinet are the result of collective agreements or a collective agreement, which means that all members share in the responsibility for outcomes, whether they are positive and or negative. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the snake, Mark Brantley, distanced himself from the decision. And given his transactional nature, the snake, after being approached by Philippe Martinez, who tried to salvage the Team Unity administration, spoke with the snake, Mark Brantley, and tried to negotiate. And Mark, we are told, requested a US $75 million payment to the NIA and 25% of the CBI as a fair share for Nevis. Unless Philippe Martinez denies this, the information that I have been provided is, when the parties agreed on the conditions and the snake, Mark Brantley, was required to sign a contract, the snake backed out, and the rest is history, my Straight Dog family. The snake backed out, and the rest is history. In summary then, ask yourselves, was it just a conspiracy to bring down Tim Harris? Well, the political history books will record that avoidance of the motion of no confidence filed by the snake, Mark Brantley, as a member of his own government, it brought down Sean, it brought down Mark, it brought down Tim, and it brought down Team Unity. But July, the Red Mascus ideologue, benefited immensely. July has its own contradictions, such as the concentration of wealth and the growing inequality. But my Straight Dog family, money can make government, as it is crucial for governments to fund essential services like infrastructure, education, healthcare, and law enforcement, which are all vital for maintaining stability and providing for its citizens. But money can also break government, as excessive reliance on financial resources can lead to corruption, mismanagement, and the diversion of funds, eroding public trust and undermining government effectiveness. Excessive borrowing and unsustainable spending will lead to crippling debt, economic instability, and hopefully and eventually a government collapse. Excessive reliance on foreign loans from the Republic of China and Taiwan, from the Saudi Development Fund and or the Exim Bank will lead to economic independence and political vulnerability, potentially undermining this government's or our government's sovereignty. And further, there is a perfect storm looming on the St. Kitts and Nevis horizon, since Philippe Martinez is in possession of the Bank of America statements, as was revealed by Straight Talk Family. He revealed this recently.
Early in January, a miracle happened, and my American lawyer, pursuant to the court order that we won in Florida, received all the bank transaction of all these people from Bank of America. I repeat, MSR Media is now in possession of all bank transaction for Caribbean Galaxy, Ying Jing, Denzel Douglas, Timothy Harris, CS Global Partner, Farron Lawrence and his company, Sylvester Anthony.
My Straight Talk Family, many people are shaking, as the Garth Lucifer Wilkin would say, shaking in their boots. We are told that under Douglas, a financial empire was built, and he had plenty of time to build it. Recall, my Straight Talk Family, Dr. Douglas, without the knowledge of his Minister of Foreign Affairs, set up a consulate in Dubai. Do you remember this, my Straight Talk Family?
St. Kitts and Nevis is also aware, however, of the importance of having a permanent, high-level diplomatic presence on the ground at times like this and in circumstances like these. And so Ms. Alex Woodley has been named Consul General to Dubai and will now be posted here in order to provide the level of representation that the expanding and multifaceted St. Kitts and Nevis Dubai UAE relationship now demands.
My Straight Talk Family, many questions were asked back then. Whether it was true that Denzel Douglas hurriedly sent the mother of his two children to evade the IRS police in New York and to establish a citizenship investment unit in the United Arab Emirates. With that appointment, the business of selling passports grew into millions of dollars, my Straight Talk Family. It got bigger and bigger, but due diligence diminished and became less and less. The big dollars blinded Dr. Douglas and threatened the national security of the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, Europe, and other nations, including we here in St. Kitts and Nevis. He failed to heed the warning. Now the chickens are finally coming home to roost. Under Team Unity and Timothy Harris, questions are also being asked about the level of corruption, money laundering, and fraud. And some have ventured to say it was huge. Martinez met Drew and advised him that he was leaving. But July invited him to the cabinet, my straight dog family. And July said this. Okay, let's get back to that, my straight dog family. Let's get back to that. What July said about Martinez. Oh, I missed that. Nonetheless, let's move forward. We will get back to that sooner rather than later. Because Martinez, I want to ensure I provide you all the evidence. All the evidence. And I'll tell you what July said about Martinez. No matter what he's saying now and doing now, he said this about Martinez, my straight dog family. And I'm going to get it for you sooner rather than later, my straight dog family. But Martinez is like, he's a thorn in their sides, my straight dog family. A real thorn as well, my straight dog family. He said this about Martinez. I think I've got that for you right now. I'll get it for you, and forgive me for that little glitz, my straight dog family. But I want you to know, to understand the crooked ways of Terence Michael July.
Thank Philip for really coming through and what we had discussed some time before. To thank Philip for really coming through and what we had discussed some time before.
I knew what to discuss, my straight dog family. He wanted Philip to invest, and he signed an agreement. Then in the turn of events, July took Dev Bat and Ying Jing to the UN, my straight dog family. Remember that? It is the July Labour administration, my straight dog family, that is most troubling. Especially since the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, issued a press release as the chief legal advisor that put him in a lot of pickle. Put him in a lot of pickle. It was a positive, misleading press release with respect to the judicial review claim that was filed in the Eastern Caribbean High Court by MSR Limited back in May 2024. The judicial review cornered Prime Minister July and the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin. And he filed an affidavit to strike out the MSR fixed date claim, my straight dog family. He filed this affidavit. We always bring you the facts. He wanted to strike out the fixed date claim. Yes, my straight dog family. He do not want the country to know. It is a big cover-up, my straight dog family. A big, big cover-up. Prime Minister Dr. July, upon the advice of Garth Lucifer Wilkin, signed applications which they both confirmed were illegal. We, the people, deserve to see the affidavit that was filed in the court. They filed an affidavit in the court. Why can't we see it? But today, my straight dog family, believe it or not, they issued a release, which I read on SKN or SKNIS, my Straight Dog family. And part of that report or release reads that the government has terminated its investment agreement with MSR Media St. Kitts Limited and MSR Hotels and Company Limited, following multiple breaches of their contractual obligations. These include failures to renovate and operate key hospitality and tourism infrastructure, employ agreed numbers of local citizens, and deliver promised film productions. Compounding these breaches, the MSR companies and their principals launched a coordinated international campaign to discredit the St. Kitts and Nevis CBI program and falsely accuse government officials of local and cross-jurisdictional unethical practices, actions wholly incompatible with a constructive partnership under CBI framework. In my Straight Dog family, I have learned that the MSR Media Limited and Philippe Martinez have moved to subpoena the bank accounts of 18 more persons. I do not have all the names, so I can't speak to that. But that I understand is the next move. So Jew and his cabinet members are shaking, are worrying, are frightened, my Straight Dog family. They are worried about what's happening, my Straight Dog family. But all because July lied. He lied about the CORs he signed, my Straight Dog family, remember?
And Terence Drew, I have supported you. I have applauded the reform that you've done. But now that I know that you have processed the vast majority of the Galaxy application and that you have lied to me, now you got some explaining to do. Not only with me, and you know what I'm talking about.
He knows we understand very well, my Straight Dog family, because he visited Philippe Martinez in Washington.
Drew came to see me to Washington, D.C. And I told him, I said, listen, you're here. I mean, send Garth Wilkin. Because the American Justice Department has everything now. It's a case. I called Garth. I said, Garth, if I were you, knowing the magnitude of the problem, I would come to the US right now and sat with the people in charge of this investigation. I don't want. Why? Because I imagine the worst and I don't want to know.
My Straight Dog family, full transparency is what we the people demand. And we expect honesty from those elected and or appointed to serve us. Once trust is broken, it cannot be rebuilt. It can be incredibly difficult to rebuild, I should add. And this would lead to long-term consequences. Prime Minister July and his chief legal advisor, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, and in fact his entire cabinet must take responsibility for their actions, moral responsibility and otherwise. When our leaders choose to hide wrongdoing, it only indicates their lack of integrity. And in this age of information, attempts to conceal the truth will be futile, because it would be quickly uncovered. Straight Talk commends Philip Martinez and trusts that he will take all the legal steps to expose and remove this obstruction of justice. We, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, must not tolerate these cover-ups. Such an environment stifles open communication, discourages ethical behavior, and creates a cycle of misconduct. Let us therefore, as one people, embrace transparency and accountability. This approach is not only ethically sound, but will be more beneficial in the long run. And let us be clear. Let us understand that even if an unscrupulous leader is called Prime Minister, even if the other unscrupulous one is called Deputy Prime Minister, or another one is called Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the other one who owns Capis and Bass Global. Did we know that? Did we know that the Soko engineer is also in the passport business, my Straight Dog family? Yes, he still is. So does he get insider trading? Does he get inside information, my Straight Dog family? But even if Capis and Bass Global is called the Minister of Public Infrastructure, et al., or worse yet, even if one is called Attorney General, once they have indulged in fraud, corruption, and money laundering, then we must all agree that a CBI scam with another name is still a scam. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, I anticipate that we will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, we must first respect ourselves. And in the things we say and do, let's ensure that they are beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 7 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. And we go to the lines, my Straight Dog family, and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes. Good night, Brother Patches. Thank you.
Good night, my brother.
For allowing me. I am so glad I am first caller. And Mr. Brother Patches, I know one day, and the day was yet to come, you would have been stand up boldly and in your utterance, I know you can make an apology to Philip Martinez. I personally, when I heard the story,
apology for what?
I don't let people think, huh?
Apology for
because remember first when you were coming out, I'm not bashing you, but I'm just trying to cite.
No, I'm just trying to be clear what you said.
Well, I know earlier you all were saying Philip Martinez is a convicted criminal. Yes, he paid his time for what criminal activity. I could have been a criminal and I pay my dues. I go to jail. I serve my time. But the pollution that it was found is Philip Martinez was not to believe. But moving forward, thank God, you can put the facts together over the due time and come up with this conclusion that I heard you utter tonight, from my understanding.
Yes.
I will say, God bless Mr. Philip Martinez as I will continue. And all who is going with negativity, or Philip Martinez, some kind of due diligence. Mr. Philip Martinez, I welcome you to St. Kitts and Nevis because you have done you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for this investigation, because Caribbean leaders, they were corrupted all the time, and they were trying to self-satisfy themselves than a nation. Our leaders, they are obligated to serve the people of that nation. Not just St. Kitts and Nevis, it goes over to all the CBI islands. Okay? But thank God, I commend you for that. Okay? But moving forward, when I heard about this thing, Philip Martinez was an agent. He was not an agent for himself. He was working with the United States State Department. Because remember, America is vulnerable to all these CBI, passport and money. And I will jump forward. Wherever this corruption is, I wish all these corruptionists, I don't give a damn who they are. I wish they could go to the damn Hague for trial, because they stole, they done real criminal activity bigger than thieves to their nation, while they had the nation and the people's trust. Okay? And the truth will not stay in the dark. It will come to light no matter what. Okay. I don't give a damn about the names. I need the names, and Philip Martinez, go, dig, plow, root.
Okay.
Because we're bringing results. I will leave that for somebody else. I'll come in again next time. I need all of these people to be caught and deal with severely. Thank you for hearing me. Bye.
Thank you for your intervention. We go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding. You are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. Someone first you tonight.
The quotation.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not a thief. I'm just really good at acquiring things that are not mine.
Just really good at acquiring
things that are not mine.
Really good.
I repeat, I'm not a thief. I'm just really good at acquiring things that are not mine. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. I am not a thief. I'm just really good at acquiring things that are not mine. Wow, interested, my Street Dog family. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, yeah, Patches, man. Good evening, man. How you, man?
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, let me come in right on the heels of that caller there. Well, I'm gonna put I listen very keenly sometimes. So I'm gonna just put this to you as a question. Well, before I put that question to you, I'm gonna pretext that. I'm gonna say to you, as we get information, we are not perfect people, and we are privy to change our stance. And with that said, I'm asking you, Patches, did I hear that you is possibly, you said that you commend Philip Martinez. So are you changing the position on him altogether, totally, or what?
Well, what position I had? I've always wanted transparency, and I liken him, as I said, to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is doing Doge, and he's volunteered. He's the St. Kitts Musk, but he's looking at transparency. He's working at the Department of Government Transparency, and I've always asked for transparency. I've always, even when I was in cabinet, I asked that we know about this citizenship by investment program. So I don't understand. But what I'm saying, though, that I commend him because I have now got much closer to the truth and the facts.
And guess what? I'm gonna back you up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna back you up on that. We're seeking for that transparency, and me myself, I am. So I'm gonna veer on your side as you gave the explanation. Your explanation. We're looking for that transparency always, and we're trying to eradicate.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go right ahead, man.
Why would Garth Wilkin wants to file an affidavit to strike out a case like that? Why he doesn't want the court to release it? Release information. There's no information. Right.
But my observation is at the outset, very quickly, at the outset. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the old people say, if you don't have nothing to hide, man.
Right.
You know, you ain't got to be operating like that. Your behavior ain't got to be such. But what's in the dark gonna come in the light. Okay, let me get past that, Patches. I just wanted to, juggle you there a little bit, but I don't want to torment you. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy said before, the earlier caller. I just want to let you know we're looking for that transparency. And as you can remember, when I first came on here, I'm talking about that corruption that we got to try to limit that corruption. The place is corrupted to the core. Sinkis and Nevis people, they have no idea how much money these men collect to that CBI program, and they squander the money off. They mismanage the money. Sinkis and Nevis should have been in tip-top state. There's so much smart people underground in Sinkis and Nevis. Like you said before, they got more degrees than a thermometer, man. Trust me. When I got connected to this stuff, I listened to a lot of people who think that they're so smart, but they sit down there and let these politicians run in circles around them. All of our politicians over the years, they all corrupted, man. Sinkis and Nevis is up, and the electorates down in Sinkis and Nevis, right? They like to blame the voters, them in the diaspora that be coming home and making them mark. What they got to understand, we're legally allowed to do that. But I'm going to blame the electorates in Sinkis and Nevis tonight because they sit there with these corrupted politicians over all of these years and they didn't know what's going on in their own country. That means they're putting bad politicians in the parliament. So I'm going to open up a can of worms tonight. The electorates underground, they're full of it. And I need to see a change for the next election. This corruption is too much to the core. It stinks from the head down. And the regular citizens in Sinkis and Nevis, they're acting the same way. People don't want to work, but they want to get money in their pocket. They don't want to work. Although some of them people under the prime minister, they are not working. They're just collecting a monthly check. And all of those advisors who collect them pension, if I was Dr. Jubal, I swear, man, the moment I realize that you're not working, I will fire you. I will send you home. You had a chance to come in from the get-go and come in with a new entourage, and he backpedaled and went back to all of those jokers, man. And now he get caught up in the web. It's going to bring him down. He is in the hot seat. But I'm going to put most of this blame now on top the electorates of Sinkis and Nevis who like to call us out in the diaspora. Those electorates underground, they are full of it to keep these corrupted politicians recycling that. And I swear, man, we're going to have to change this stuff. I'm waiting to see somebody come up out the ashes. And when that person come up out the ashes and make that change, then the status quo will change. The judicial system in Sinkis and Nevis is rotten. That man is not doing no work to straighten up the judicial system, and they're only squeezing up the common man.
Okay.
What about all those white-collar crimes that be committed? All the money that disappeared.
Okay,
who's going to go to jail for those monies, man?
Okay, my brother.
But if Uncle Sam squeezed them up, I don't care about them.
Okay, my
brother.
Let
the man take some punishment as well. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. And yes, we agree. We all, my Sri Dog family, we all are seeking transparency. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Thank you.
Yes, my lord.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Is this the Major? Sounds like the Major. Yes. How are you, Major?
I'm good. I don't want to be provocative.
You can be what you are on Straight Talk. It's Straight Talk.
Okay. Over the years, from the time I born unto this day, I always hear my mother say that money is the root of all evil. You agree with that? Because what is the evil stuff? You agree with that?
Agree with what?
Money is the root of all evil.
Oh. Yes, I've always heard that.
You already heard that. So next time I go, I will have to go down in my dictionary to find the real meaning of evil. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe tomorrow itself I will go in my dictionary. When I do my reading and so on, I will check out that because money is the root of all evil. And I don't know, we're not going to be satisfied. We're not going to be satisfied. I don't know what's going to happen. And then I also want to tell you of something that I learned with a gentleman who I work with all the years at the factory. And he always tells me, he asks me, what is a bank? Give me a definition of a bank. Cassius, give me the definition of a bank, and I will give you the definition what the gentleman told me.
What, a bank?
Yeah, a bank.
And you don't know the definition of a bank?
Well, I can give me your definition, and I will give you what the gentleman told me, and it sounds right.
What is yours?
My definition that the man told me, that a bank is a place that lend you an umbrella in fair weather and take it back when it begins to rain. You heard that?
Okay.
How you look at that? I mean, you could. I don't know that a bank is a place that lend you an umbrella in fair weather and take it back when it begins to rain. So we got to be looking out for that. When you ain't coming, the bank you get all the umbrella you want. But as soon as the things get sunny, they want back the money.
Yeah, but they accept deposits, but not necessarily give you loans, eh?
I haven't heard that part. I didn't have heard that part.
I said they accept deposits, but they don't necessarily give you loans.
Okay. All right.
You'll get a loan. Yeah, but I got you. I like that colloquial.
That is what the man tell me. And I discovered tonight in now you come. I decided I was going to take out all the rest, but I thought I should give you that definition. It gives you a bank in fair weather, but take it back with the biggest way. So we got to watch out for that. Because this is all the thing we hear all the time now. This is all the time. Maybe they put it in the bank, but they put it somewhere else. But now they want back the money. But they can't get the money. They want back the money now. This is when we ain't coming out.
Okay, my brother. Okay. Thanks a lot for your intervention. As usual, Major, fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Major Jones, as usual, very abstract. Let's go back to the lines. This caller is holding. I thank you for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, Patrick. Good night. How are you?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Oh, that's nice. I'm peaceful to Patrick. Just attentively listening to you. I'm not getting excited, but I'm just focusing and digesting. And I remember there was a very high spiritual science that Christ used in those days when the woman committed adultery and accusing of many sins. He wrote on the ground, and from the time he started to use that science, wrote on the ground, tell them who ain't have any sin, let me know. And all of them disappear. So, we're living in an environment like this, that we all have sins, we all have shortcomings, we all guilty of something. And I'm not getting, you have a kind of wildfire shot tonight, which is important. You're coming down like brimstone on fire, but all that makes sense, that's your duty. But there's still merit here, and a lot of criticism and accusation of the past of the former government. Because even when your former government took power in 2015, the former leader said he leave $250 million there, $333 million, which is considered to be almost $250 million. And when the Labour government took power in 2022, that money disappeared, diminished, many of that. Because your Prime Minister was saying that he was using a slush fund to maintain the government when he was using the SIDF money, not even the CBI, because he wasn't giving no one information where he using all the money from, and the IDF money was still in existence, carrying the country. And he never acknowledged the people of that money that he was using, $335 million.
My brother,
that the Prime Minister.
My brother, can I ask you a question? Do you listen back to what you say? at times on the show?
Yeah, 300. Yes, I listen what I'm saying, Patrick.
Listen back to what you say. And when you listen back, do you believe?
Yeah.
Do you believe to be talking the truth?
Because that's the whole thing.
I asked you a question. Do you believe you're talking?
Yes. That was the truth. The money was there.
But please, wait a while. When Team Unity administration took office, and we're not going to argue tonight, right? We're going to give you the facts.
So we can't be having a conversation.
Remember Denzel Douglas took the country to the IMF and gave all those people a haircut. So when the government changed in 2015, he owed the IMF money, $117 million. He owed the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela over $100 million. Never paid for a cent of the fuel they got. And I can go on and on. So don't come with them nonsense about money left in Sam and listen what a Jew is, stupidness that Jew comes and talk to the nation. Stupidness. He had a land for debt. Wait. There was a land for debt swap with the National Bank. A special purpose vehicle was set up. The Team administration under Timothy Harris bought back some 400 or 500 acres of land. So the people could get land. So he can use land to build houses today. So don't come with those nonsense. I'm not going to accept that from you tonight. I listened to you many times, and sometimes I let certain things pass. Because like I told you before about Mark Twain. So please don't come with the nonsense you talk about $300 million. Timothy Harris left $686 million for Drew. And he said the country was in the red. Yet he found money. He found money to pay some dividend. He found money to pay a double salary in November. So don't come with your nonsense. Douglas put $93 million in Occasion Hill. $43 million in Christopher Harbour. Christopher Harbour owes $130 million till today, and Drew hasn't collected. So please don't come with that nonsense tonight. Tonight is not for nonsense. Tonight we're addressing the CBI scamp with another name. And the CBI scamp with another name is still a scamp. So speak to that. I give you 5 seconds to speak to that. Can you?
Yes, okay, Patches. What I'm saying, the CVI fund. I'm speaking to the SIDF fund.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're talking nonsense about SIDF. The government of Team Unity put the SIDF money in this consolidated fund. Your friend, Denzel Douglas, was saying that it was a private foundation. He never told us about the money. We took the money and put it into a consolidated fund. So if you ain't talking that, you're talking stupidness. And I don't mean to disrespect you.
No, that's your opinion, Patches. I'm not thinking. I'm listening to you.
It's fact. So don't come in the stupidness that do talk about money out there.
Yeah, Mr. Patches. Yes, Mr. Patches.
I'll give you 5 seconds
you
to talk to the topic. 5 seconds. A CBI scam with another name is still a scam. Speak to it.
Patches, all of it is scam from all the governments. Okay, because it's $44 million. There's 44.
Are you glad?
Hold on. There are $44 million. Okay.
Are you glad that
there's $44 million?
Are you glad?
No,
would you want to see those accounts?
You said.
Would you want to see those accounts?
Nothing going to come out of that case with Martinez when he was on Timothy back. You said nothing going to come from that.
No,
so why are you so prudent now that something going to come from this?
Because if I didn't say that, but just to accommodate you. Right?
Yeah, you said that, Patrick. Play back yourself. You said nothing going to come from those cases, from his cases.
Wait. I am saying to you, right? Information has come to the fore that some bank accounts are huge. A minister in the government has condos and bank accounts in Dubai. I want to see them. But go ahead. What is your point? I'll give you 2 more seconds.
So what? My point. I'm gonna end my point in a nice way. I'm gonna end my point in a nice way.
2 more seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, that's no problem. I stand to be criticized, but I'm gonna end my point in a nice way. Out of the 333 million that I told you about, when Jew get in power, There was only $10 million leave back. $44 million that cannot give account for.
When you come with them stories here, when you come with those okay,
and
thank you.
Patrick, I have the document.
What document? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. You're talking, when you come to this program, you want to talk that nonsense, start once upon a time. All right? If you introduce your statement by once upon a time, then I'll understand what you're going to say. But Juicy left $300 million. Douglas left IMF debt. Land for debt. He put up 1,200 acres of land for the humongous debt he owed the bank. So what are you talking about, my brother? The lines are open, my Straight Talk family. It is 9:15. Tonight is a serious night. We want to talk to about the CBI scamps. And the CBI scamps with another name. Even you call them Prime Minister, you call them Minister of Foreign Affairs, whatever you call them, a scamp with a different name is still a scamp. And that is what we are saying here tonight. My Straight Talk family, we are straightforward with that. No time for pussyfooting tonight. Excuse that language if it's not good. Right? This is time we'll hear. We're getting your calls. Yes, you can give me a shout now. The numbers are 829. Oh, sorry, take that back. 646-829-6672. And locally, we have 663-6672. I'm taking your calls again, my Straight Talk family, at 646-829-6672. 629-8672. 6672. Let's take those calls right now, my Straight Talk family, and I would accept your calls again. I'll take some let's get our calls coming. Yes, my Straight Talk family again. Some people are ringing my telephone, but the number again is 646 for the overseas line. 646 829 6672. Again, 646 829 6672. Oh boy. Let's take this call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Captain?
Yes, sir. Yes,
how are you this tonight?
Hello.
How are you, Captain?
I am peaceful. I am peaceful. I am peaceful.
Oh, yeah. I see you going now back. Psalm 75, Captain.
Indeed.
Psalm 75, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it. I'm trying to remember the Psalm.
Are you trying to get it?
Give one to thee. What's it? I'm trying to remember that Psalm. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead, Bible man. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Commercial.
Cometh neither from the east?
From the east.
Not to the west.
From the west.
Or from the south.
From the south.
True.
But God is the judge. He put down
and sets up another.
And he set up another.
Yes.
Mr. Patrick, I can tell you something. You hear me good?
We'll listen to you, my brother. Go right ahead.
All right. There was a king named Jehoshaphat. He get on a kingdom. There was 3 enemies come after Jehoshaphat. And then he didn't do his own thing. He went into the house of the Lord and he inquired of God and asked God for help because there were 3 enemies against him. And then he set himself to pray and fast. And he called the whole country. And when he began to pray, he said, Lord, I can't do one blessing there. He said, I am not the old man. And he started to tell the Lord what and what. And when he done pray and fast, the Lord tell him, the battle is not his. When we are saying it's Nevis, put everything in God's hand and let from there, God is going to work. Prayer changes things, Mr. Patches. The fervent prayers of a righteous man availeth much. And he needs prayer. God said he's going to work. And what God said, he's going to do. So all we have to do, just wait patiently on the Lord. And he are going to do what you have to do. And he rule the whole universe. So let us wait, because I must wait on the Lord. Be a good courage. It's a must strengthen your heart. And God will give you your desire, your heart.
Okay.
Good night, Mr. Pattis. Have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night, my dear brother. Thanks for your spiritual intervention. We go straight back to the lines and thank this call of a holding caller. You are live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Patches. It's Philippe Martinez.
It's who?
Philippe Martinez.
The Philippe Martinez we know?
The one and only, I guess.
What moves you to call this program tonight?
Well, first of all, I watch your program every time, as we watch with my team every program in the Caribbean, because we always find very important information. And well, first of all, I want to thank you for commending the effort that we have put for the last 2.5 years into that investigation. And I would like to say something to you and to your audience. It doesn't really matter what I say anymore. 2.5 years ago, when Prime Minister Drew was elected, I went to him and I offered him to review the evidence of the fraud, the money laundering, corruption, and national security breach in the Citizenship by Investment Program. I did the same with the Attorney General, Garth Wilkins. Nobody wanted to listen. The people of your country needs to understand that my investors and I have invested $38 million plus legal costs plus interest in the Federation at the demand of Timothy Harris and Terence Drew. In 2023, I notified in writing the Attorney General that because they refused to look at the evidence of corruption, heavy corruption beyond imagination, that I was going to go to the U.S. Department of Justice and Homeland Security, which I did. I warned them before I did it. Since then, there is a attack, a cover-up to stop the people of the Caribbean to find out what I found out. Because of my investigation, your country has already recovered 32 applicants that paid fraudulently money on the passport. What we ask is that the 22,000 passports are paying what is due to this government. I will generate with my action $400 million for your government. But I am blocked by Attorney General Wilkins for weeks and months. So my message, and the reason I'm calling you today, is very simple. It doesn't matter
they could not block me. All the evidence, all the bank statement, going way back to the Ramada Hotel, to the jail project, are with the United States Department of Justice. I have been called by the State Department. I have fully briefed them on that. So for the gentleman that called earlier who saw that I was an agent, I want to say that, no, sir, I'm not an agent. I'm just a guy that trusted Terence Drew and Gus Wilkin that they will clean the program. And I was abused. Okay. And I took that battle, all the way to the end. And now they can cancel my contract as they announced it today. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Now, the United States government, the Department of Justice knows what they've done. And they have all the evidence. Oh. And if I wanted to be, and I'm not allowed to provide the bank statement until instructed by certain people.
Okay. So can I ask a question quickly?
Yeah.
I understand that you're going to subpoena some more accounts.
Yes.
Is that correct? And can you say accounts of whom?
I can't say announce who, because as you know, then they try to block it. But because we have received in January the bank account of Bank of America, we have discovered a web of individual and institutions that we didn't know were involved, right? So, but I can tell you that there are a lot of officials that are going to be subpoenaed in the United States at Bank of America, and we're going back to the judge next week with my American lawyer, because as you know, we are the only people in the Caribbean that have ever been able to obtain the bank transaction. So like I said, the condos in Dubai and the financial empire that some have built on the back of the people, we have it. And now they are safe with the United States Justice Department. So all those, just very quickly, Mr. Patches, all those little press release for the St. Kitts press, or the IMI of the world, this is nothing. It is time to end the cover-up and for the people to face what they've done. And I hope one day I can come back to St. Kitts and the people can appreciate that I've ended the corruption and the fraud.
Okay, one more question quickly. If I can give you 10 seconds to respond. You said you have spent $38 million and they have ended your agreements. How would you recover that money if you spent it?
Right now, I'm doing nothing until the conclusion of the United States Department of Justice. I'm waiting.
Okay.
Right? We had a screening. We had 2 screenings of the movie, the documentary, The Men Who Sold the Caribbean to China at the United Congress, the US Congress, in February. They had a major impact. People were shocked about the evidence that we had. So Gus Wilkin should have come to DC like I invited him, right? And if he thinks that the State Department is not aware, think again. The State Department is fully aware of everything that went on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Patch, I thank you for commending my effort to bring full transparency, but the transparency will come from the United States, not from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. Thank you for giving us that clarification there. Philippe Martinez of MSR Media Limited. We understand that his contract was ended today by the government. We understand as well that the State Department have quite a lot of information and some more information will be procured. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Greetings, brother Patches.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings, my brother.
Ras Kalonji.
Kalonji, yes.
Yes. Interested. Are you very interested by that? Yes. But I told you from the beginning what was up. But you see, but what I'm trying to show our people now, all of us in this party, I said before, all of us is thieves. It's time for us to stop thieves.
Talk for yourself, Kalunji. Talk for yourself.
Yeah, you see, but I'm not excluding myself from my people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because what I'm trying to show you, the aim of this thing is to mash up the CBI and mash up the country.
But let me ask you a question. Would you like to see to learn if these accounts really exist outside there with millions?
Yes, but what I'm saying, we could do that internally.
But they don't give us anything internally. I mean, you heard about the housing project just the other day, and what the Garth Lucifer Wilkins said, it's trade secret. You can't see a contract with housing project. You can see.
I agree.
You can see millions in accounts.
I agree with all
millions in accounts.
I agree with all what you're saying, my brethren. I agree with all what you're saying. But what I'm trying to show you, all administrations have done that.
But it's time to change it. We have to change the system. We need a level playing field.
That's why I say we got stop thieves.
My strong position is, that the adult suffrage was not about parties, it was about people. And the people make parties. And this thing about PAM and Labour and CCM and NRP and PLP, we had to understand is the people. And people must understand how valuable that X they make, that vote they have. And they must use it.
But hear what I'm saying to you. I told you about how the colonizers train us to attack one another. The system that we have, the colonial system that we have, is to attack. You see, I don't attack people. I'm not attacking anybody.
I don't believe diverse views is about attacking each other. We are different people and we have different views. We just have to respect each other, right?
You don't think we should? You don't think we should be speaking with one voice?
Oh, we can speak with one voice as different people. How is that possible?
Okay, no. Listen what I'm saying. I'm talking about black people's interests. We came down here in slave ships, We wasn't talking with different voices back then. In 1952, Labour was the party that struggled for us to get the vote. We was on one page. But how come that we on different page?
Because we're different people.
Look, we can't be different people when we suffer the same consequences.
But they will always be greater and lesser.
But what I'm saying to you, that is the colonial reference. Trump said that Biden was the worst president ever in the United States. Trump is blaming Biden for everything.
Hear this. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to respond because I have a lot of calls on my lines here, right? And the title, the thesis tonight is a CBI scam with another name is still a scam. What do you think?
But like I said, all of us is scam, and I'm not blaming the scam thing. All of us is scam.
Okay.
You hear? All I'm saying to you now, we got to stop scam.
Okay, my brother.
Give thanks.
Give thanks, my brother. Ras Kalunji. All of us are scamps, he said. As Ken just said, she wants, what she said? She liked the thief who shares. Is that what she said? Caller, you're live. I thank you for holding. You're live. Hello, caller?
Yeah, Patches, I just want to get back in real shortly before you get off. Yeah, man, I just want to thank that man, Philip Martinez, for coming on tonight. And I hope all the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis is listening to your program tonight. And this one is for the archives. Like you said, this is a serious night tonight. The men are being separated from the boys. Everybody's scamping. The scamping got to stop. But if we can't, it seems like we can't stop the scamping. Maybe we might just have to settle this to limit it. But not to change the topic, Patches, but I've heard through the grapevines that 300 acres of land for the Tabasco project was sold out today or sometime recently. Somebody mentioned that in another program. I don't know if you got that information or if you can get it or if any truth to that. And I'm asking Philip Martinez to let go that information he got to the public, because it's very important for the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's very important for the electorates to have that information so that they can decide a government of their choice for the next election. I'm asking Philippe Martinez again to put that information in the public domain, whether he's going to start contacting some newspapers or what, because the electorates need that information so that they can decide the next government.
Okay,
thanks a lot, man, and I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Well, he did in fact say that he is instructed not to release that information. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Sachin.
Good night, my dear.
This is the thief aunt that called back from last week.
Jennifer?
Week before. Last week make a week. Since that however police take my brother.
Oh, okay.
Sunlight.
Okay, yeah. The aunt of Kalikwan, is it Kalikwan his name? Kalikwan?
That's right.
Kalikwan, okay.
I just was listening to Buju Banton there, and the song that Buju singing, Murderer. He have Kalikwan blood on his shoulder tonight. He know that he run down that child, and he know what he did at White Gate. But Mr. Patrick, let me ask you something. These officers that doing these kind of things to people, children, and sliding down the drain and getting away with this kind of thing that they're doing. Why they doing these kind of things to people, children? They have children, they're getting children. There's young man in the fort, and they must breed somebody.
When you say
they're not supposed to do people.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. When you say they took his body around the island, what did you mean when you say that?
Well, when the mother come to identify her child, they tell her she cannot see him. They take the body and they went round the country with the child body. No other police come to say on the scene to say, well, wherever. But my brother, Inspector brother, went and identified his son. His brains smashed out, half of his face gone, his shoulder then broke up, his foot then broke up. I tell just 15 years and could do that murder. That murder act to that child. He only said come, he only said reach manhood yet. Okay. He only said reach manhood yet. We are the Minister of Finance. Huh? We are the Minister of Finance to ask him this kind of thing here.
You keep saying
that is not right. That is not right.
You mean the Minister of National Security, though? That's what you mean?
Right. Okay. The Prime Minister.
Yeah, he's the Minister of National Security. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Where is he? Okay. Huh? Where is he? And the man that over them. We asked them to call him in and ask him. Eh? And when the fella said, you don't knock him down, knock him off the cycle, you still going back again, go run for him. Eh? He backs up the fella, take out the fella phone and do all kind of thing to the fella. That is not right. Let the child strive, he know the mother, he know the father. Where is my brother respect as an inspector? Them police, they're doing a lot of things. The police force corrupt. They're doing a lot of nonsense and getting away and going and telling the big man over them. That one statement, and when you want to put it out on all kind of thing that people can read it on the phone and say, oh, the child win this and the child win that. The child is not a bad child. He's just going to 5th of September come in. And he could do that brutal act to the child here. But he can tell Papa Jesus tonight. Where he can tell Papa Jesus? My God, see that Thursday night to see the brutalness of him, how we doing that child. But if you feel like he done, they ain't done with Papa Jesus. Because he said, leave vengeance to me. All kind of lie he bringing up on the child. Oh, the child ain't had no helmet. The child ain't had no license. The child no had no number plate. Was a stolen bike and all kind of things. And want to be a police, want to be in the force tonight. Want to go out and walk. And he don't take the child life. He ain't gonna want nobody to do it. None of his children themselves. None of his family themselves. And he never is supposed to do that to an innocent child. Huh? And And my inspector about the air now, when he get the news and say he have a nasty accident, that's what he get. He know now his child, a policeman brutalized his child. Huh? And got the family them tonight, grieving, mourning, heart-hurting. But every tears, Mr. Liburd, listen to me, every tears that the broken family them drop and the wounded family them drop, all them tears going for him. Can no rest and no peace for him. Okay. No rest, no peace. Okay. He gonna see credit one in front of him. Cause that's a brutal act. He now want nobody do his children themselves. No, none of his family them. And talk about he wants to be police and talk about how that work. They're not right. They're supposed to break him.
Okay.
They're supposed to break him.
Okay, we got you. Feel your pain, you know, but thanks for calling and just put your trust in God, as we say, you know.
Yes, baby. You have a wonderful night and you get home safe.
Thanks a lot.
Because what happened here on this earth tonight, what happened over there at what get that Thursday night, don't let you feel like you done with God.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Thank you. That's the aunt of the young man who lost his life over there in Whitegate, expressing her grief and her frustration on behalf of the family. And we echo her sentiments, and at least somebody should really bring the information to the public. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live.
Good night, Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, Mr. Straight Talk. Canto Martinez. You see what I keep telling you, that you have lots of people just listen to you. You see how the truth comes out tonight. But I'm not going to talk about Martinez because I want, before we leave the year, I want you to play back Michael tape so that lady that was just on the phone can hear what your son was saying to you before he died, that you didn't even know was your son. Just like Philip Martinez almost came you that you're saying, who you say you are you the Philip? So pray that back, that she could get an understanding that this is how your son was talking to you when he was around and now today. So when people are going through, they should also recognize that somebody went through something just like this also. So grant me that favor tonight and pray that for my wonderful sister there who's still grieving, and then she will understand what grieving is all about and what expect to become, that she must be strong. Okay, what happened? Be strong. Yes. So that's enough for tonight for that. Let me just say good night there to my wonderful people. Brother Culture, how are you? My lovely niece in St. Louis and Texas Queen. My brother Alvin and George Reed and my brother Adam and Abigail and family. Mr. Straight Talk, I jump off of this show tonight because I want to bring you back to something that you said last week. Not you, but the minister of housing, I can't even remember his name. But he says that the government didn't last no money. Mr. Straight Talk, anything can go so?
Well, time
Mr. Straight Talk, listen here.
Don't believe them.
You see, this is why Trump beat everybody with no Trump say common sense. Common sense is this. If you sign a contract, and when you sign a contract, you have to put a deposit down. A deposit says, well, this for me to start doing what I have to do. This no go back. This deposit don't go back to you. Understand? Yeah. Is it payment though you have to make, but the deposit already went out? Isn't so?
Yes, in construction they call it the mobilization.
Well, I'm just want to make sure, because when I hear him saying any government ain't last no money, and you say it's a scam. I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm saying it's a lie.
Okay.
Understand? He is bluntly telling lies, because if you sign a contract, you not just come sign a contract, put papers in, and you get no money out of it.
Sure.
You have to put down money before papers can sign and say, okay, well, this is the agreement, this is what, and you put some money there, say, well, this is what you will get now starting And you say, those two houses, so he built them for free then. Mr. Stratak, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. A good question.
I know you're there, but I asked you your question. So those two houses, he built them for free out of his pocket, no money exchange.
The model houses were for the account of NHC. I know that. Yeah.
Oh, so is NFC build them?
Well, I think the situation is that, how I understand it, the money comes from the bank, but it is guaranteed by the government. So if the bank don't get back that money, then the government has to pay. So he would have got his mobilization $10 million US, I think it was. I don't know if he got all of it, but obviously somebody got some money, right?
Well, yes, but this is what I'm saying. But here, this man sitting down, Mr. Stratak, and he's saying, well, this was that, and this was that, and so the Attorney General is looking about it.
Okay.
What Attorney General, Mr. Stratak, I think I said enough because tonight's program is one of the hottest program that Philip Martinez come on. You see, Philip Martinez doesn't listen to you 2 hours straight talk.
Okay.
Philip Martinez say he doesn't listen to your program.
Okay, my brother.
What more Mr. Tomion want? Mr. Tomion, leave my brother alone.
Abracadabra.
See you when I see you. See you soon.
See you soon, my brother. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patches, greetings.
Yes, my lord. How art thou? Greetings to you.
I'm very good. What about you?
I am peaceful, my brother. Peaceful.
As always, a very interested program.
Thank you.
And I say I'm going to ask you this question, you know. Mr. Patches, one of these days, one of these nights, one of these time on your program, could you invite our Prime Minister to be on Straight Talk? Could that be possible? And humanity by nature is gifted to think freely. But in order that this free thought should lead him to the goal of liberty and independence, his way of thinking must be shaped by the process of education. Mr. Patches, I have a question concerning Mr. Martinez that is bothering me. And many times when persons go to the bank to get information, the bank would say they cannot give people private information out. But I've overheard Mr. Martinez saying he have persons' account information. But I'm wondering how he could arrive at that information. How possible that could be, because he said tonight he's not an agent. So if he's not an agent, how could he acquire people's personal accounts, records? That's the thing. What?
Well, he said that he was sued for defamation, and in his defense, his lawyers subpoenaed the bank to get information for his defense.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. Another thing too, Mr. Patches, the caller, the from abroad, when they call us from abroad, even though he's trying to point out one or two issues that you try to stump him on, why sometimes we don't want to accept the truth of what's there? Why he don't want to accept that the Douglas administration leave the country in a lot of debt, unpaid debt, and majority of the debt was, let's say, secured by the Unity administration. Why we as a people don't want to accept those truths that happened to the country?
True.
And I think when we do that, we will pave a better way forward for our country. And that's the most I will say tonight. Mr. Patrick, you continue to be strong. and be good.
Thank you very
and
much.
Stay healthy.
And you do likewise, my brother. Always
Thank you.
Grateful for your intervention. Joseph Brooks reads this email. Dr. Simmons made a post recently appealing to voters, especially to PLP supporters, to come and join PAM to defeat the Labour Party and Drew in the next elections. He requested that PLP supporters come but do not bring Harris with them. You, Joseph, posted, "Oh Lord, nobody want Harris." Well, Harris could say the same thing about you, Joseph, for in 1980 when Simmons and PAM came to power, he did not want you in the police force and you had to run for your life to America. You were so bitter and abusive at the airport while sitting on the table cursing Simmons with your expletives. A customs officer simply asked you to get off the table, and you turned on him with a barrage of curses, telling him these tables belong to Bradshaw. Excuse me. However, you get off the table when you decide to call Cookie Warner, the controller of customs. You went to the USA with your woman and ex-woman police from St. Paul's. The policewoman then abandoned you in America, for she again did not want you. The woman in Old Road, no, we don't need to go into those personal matters, dear. Please, that's not what Straight Talk is all about. Straight Talk family, I know you're hiding behind your pen, but please, let's keep it a certain level, can we? The Attorney General, if he has any pride and shame left, should instantly resign for all those bad advice he's given the government. Patches, last week I read an email which castigated one Ebony for her interference in our politics. I want to say categorically that I am in complete agreement with that emailer. The woman runs a weekly night show on ZIZ, which is repeated a day in the morning. What caught attention is her misleading statement, articulating that Prime Minister Drew led his Labour Party to victory. What victory is this old woman talking about, when Drew himself clearly stated indirectly that he bought the elections? So what dumb stupidness this old garret woman telling us? We are not that gullible as you to believe your nonsensical message on every day on radio. Find something better to do and say, for our tax dollars you are receiving. Read this email. A pleasant good evening, Patches. Given that the apartments on East Streets are now finished, will first preference be given to the evicted former residents of the West Street apartments, tenants such as Chips Chumney and Nogo, just to name a few? Thank you, Patches, reads this email. Good evening, Ambassador. Please let me offer my sincere condolences to the family of Nurse Pitt. I trust that the perpetrator has been arrested and charged. Note must also be taken that after 4 months, the homicide of Nurse Williams has not yet resolved, as Dr. Williams. Then there's the situation that the 15-year-old who lost his life under mysterious circumstances. Where is justice in St. Kitts for these two victims? Reads this email. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you line. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night. Good night, Patches. Thank you for allowing me.
Yeah, good night, sir.
First of all, let me jump straight to, my ears came like needle when I hear the utterance of Mr. Martinez, the man himself. Mr. Martinez, I am profoundly grateful to hear your voice. And I stand for the correction. I'm the one who said you are an agent for the US. What I meant by that is you were onto something. So you could have been a PI, a private agent, whatever. But I hold you with high hopes and high respect. You have done a very wonderful job. And you continue, and I encourage you to. I will appreciate if I can meet you someday. I am a Kittitian, but I live in the United States, New York. Yes, I will actually like to see those records also. And to the caller who wondering how Mr. Martinez get the record from the bank, they could be subpoenaed, sir. If I need your bank record of curiosity, I go to the bank with information and I subpoena the bank and I shall get those records. So it's not hard. And it's not an invasion of privacy when you are under scrutiny and observation. Now, moving forward, I am glad the truth has come to the light and continue to be lightened. And to all those who has done the country wrong, going back from when records could be shown and proof with facts, let it be shown, and we will take all these into consideration. Who are doing this? Our leaders. And our leaders does not set any example of enlightenment. And for that reason, they must be canned, they must be capped, and they must be done. So once again, Mr. Martinez, my number, if you wish, is 347-460-8192. I am a candidate for justice, and I'm a crusader just like you for mankind. Thank you once again, you and your family. May God bless you all. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. The 4 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour, we wind down any moment now. Let's get rid of my emails. I haven't forgotten the emailers. Mr. Brooks, you sarcastically posted, "Oh Lord, nobody want Harris." This was your response to what Simmons had foolishly and ignorantly said to PLP supporters, that they must come over and join PAM. Do not bring Harris with them. I was at a loss for words comprehending what you mean. In 1980, when PAM won, remember you had to, I think we read this before, didn't we? Yes, we did read that email before. Mr. AG, you are causing the country too much shame and embarrassment now, man. Your performance is very poor. You're boastful, empty chatting, beating your chest, and praising yourself for the bad advice make you look like a fool and not an expert you claim to be. Resign, Mr. AG. A pleasant evening, Patches. You always said that reporters to the Prime Minister's round table and press conference are nothing else but palace guards. And having listened to a portion of the last round table skit show, then I'm now 100% convinced that your description of these reporters is correct. Patches, these journalists should be ashamed of themselves, as they are an embarrassment to the journalistic profession. These fly-by-night journalists doesn't have not even an ounce of journalistic integrity when they allow their noble profession to be bastardized and hijacked by a reckless and corrupt government. Didn't these journalists learn anything from Clive Bacchus, Tony Frederick, Ken Richards, and Val Thomas, just to name a few? Patches, these journalists acted as if they were performing a skit on Broadway and received their script from July prior for the questions asked. I almost puked when Ebony Brandon read her script to Dr. Drew because he knew exactly what she was going to ask. But if you think Ebony was bad, Glenn Mart was even worse when he voluntarily proclaimed that St. Kitts Nevis Times is not a news source registered with the Media Association. I am ashamed to say that the only reporter who asked July pointed questions which he was obviously angry and uncomfortable with was Devon Cornelius when he inquired about the lands for the new smart hospital. Keep up the good work, Devon. You demonstrate that you were well trained by your teachers at Win FM of yesteryear under the tutelage of Clive Bacchus, Tony Frederick, and Ken Richards. Keep asking those questions as you do, and DJ Rankin of Sugar City FM seems to be part of the few remaining voices crying in the journalistic wilderness. Reads this email. This other email. Patches, did you watch the unprecedented dress down that journalist Andrew Huey gave to Samuel Duggins at his press conference last week? Patches, Andrew Huey was on top of his game and deserves the Pulitzer's Prize as his questions countered Samuel with undisputed facts. When Samuel spewed lies after lies, just trying to lay the blame for his ministry's myriad failures at the feet of the team unity government. Andrew Huey questioning of Samal were like a man getting some high falls, uppercuts and left jabs. So when Samal was left bobbing and weaving on the ropes, about to be knocked out by Huey, Samal messaged the referee, Miss Vanderpool, and begged her to save him. So Miss Vanderpool called a timeout and refused to take any more questions. Then she asked Samal to wrap up. Patches Andrew Huey onslaught of questions stripped Samal of most of his clothes, leaving him only in a shredded underwear, bleeding and frothing from the mouth. We are proud of you, Andre. Continue to keep the politicians' feet to the fire. Reads this other email. Patches, good night. I must commend you for a job well done. Patches, I think you need to consider running again. You are the only person right now that we can depend on for the truth and give all the truth. Patches, you give all the explanation and answers. Patches, have the most views than Pam, Labour, and PLP. Patches, you need to run again. It will be an easy win for you. It's just yesterday I was wondering what happened to that project at Buckley's at Drawers. Thanks for educating us, Patches. Reads this other email. And wow, I got quite a lot more emails here. Patches, good night. Thanks for the education. In finance, they never teach us about all these types of financial transactions. They just define them. Great job, Patches. Reads this other email. Patches, good night. I was looking at television today and I happened to see PM July on the telly, and I had to look at him 3 times to ensure that it was July. He looked old, he looked scared. It looks like he lies so much and so often that his mouth looked crooked. I wonder, JF, the lies are too heavy why his mouth is crooked. A very observant senior citizen reads this email. Good evening, sir. Listening from Chicago as always. I'm here wondering if the fraudster still owns the OTI, since the Federation no longer has any dealings with him. Can you look into that matter? It's very disheartening to hear so much corruption running rampant in my dear little country. July and his regime of vagabonds got to go. No joke, Patches. Reads this other email. Hi and hello, Patches. I'm asking if you would be kind enough to release as much as you can about the Philip Martinez case, because I am of the impression that there is more to meet the eyes. I feel as though quite a number of ministers are entangled in this web of mess. Patches, makes me wonder which of the ministers' hands are clean, because it sounds very shameful. Patches, I wonder if this scandal would shut down our CBI, and if it would warrant an investigation if the other islands CBI. We were known to have the best program, but it would appear as though we have the worst CBI program. Patches, what the hell that man called in to say? He's just taking up time when others with good facts cannot get through to their point. When Team Unity left office, the present government in office made good money. That is why they can fly all over the place like they are human birds. Whatever money was left from Team Unity in the Treasury, the present Mickey Mouse government is flying all over. They have not gone to Disney World where they live. Could you tell us where that caller calls from with his stupidness? You were quite right to handle him so. What the hell 40 million he is talking about? He seems as though he is just a balloon. I wonder if he is paid by the Mickey Mouse government. He has the documents. What the hell documents he has? Which planet is he living on? He seems to be related to Donald Trump. Reads this other email. Good night, Patches. I like how you handle that caller with his half-truths. You did give him some Newton pepper in his tail. Here's this email. Patches, don't allow the rest to change your topic every week. He come this colonial BS. He know 4H3 most history. He needs to be a professor. Reads this other email. Don't allow no one to give you no lawsuit. Stick to the topic at hand, please. Reads this other email. Let's take the topic to PM July roundtable. Stay away from that with this email. And those are my emails for tonight. And as I wrap tonight's programming, because yes, my time is done, I thought if I can get someone to conform to the rules of brevity, I would have entered the call. But my time is done, my Straight Talk family, and I've got to run. But those of you who join me tardily, the topic we looked at tonight, or the thesis, or dissertation as I call it, I titled A CBI Scamp with Another Name is Still a Scam. And I spoke to the background, and I spoke as well to the unscrupulous one and the unscrupulous government. I came to tell you that a CBI scam with another name is still a scam. Even if an unscrupulous leader is called Prime Minister instead of a CBI scam, he or she would be considered a scam because they indulged in fraud and or they tried to cover up the scam. My Straight Talk family, even if this unscrupulous one is called Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, or another is called the Minister of Public Infrastructure, or worse yet, even if he's called the Attorney General, I put it to you that a CBI scam with another name is still a scam, my Straight Talk family. That's the views I express tonight. Now, I also made comment and I did in fact provided a little history, background history of the program. Someone asked me as well for this soundbite, and I don't know if I have that right soundbite, but I'll get to that. I spoke to the one-man operation. I spoke to when Douglas came in, and I also spoke to the 19-year period from 2006 when we had 3 administrations, inclusive of 7 years of Harris-led team unity administration and 3 years of the Terence Michael Drill administration. But you know what is interesting is the whole saga. It is long, complicated story of this French filmmaker. And he called in tonight, my Straight Talk family. And as I said before that, the closer I got to the story, I found out that it is not fictional. It was based on real facts, my Straight Talk family. But the focus was not on Philippe Martinez tonight, though he called in and we were happy he did. But he reminded me of the Doge undertaken by Elon Musk, the Department of Government Efficiency. And Philippe, I likened it to the Department of Government Transparency, which is doing free. I use volunteered because he said his lawsuit against July was not for money. But Martinez uncovered the fraud taking place in not just the CBI program in St. Kitts, but CBI programs in the Caribbean. And he spoke to the unfinished projects. He highlighted them. But my Straight Talk family, the truth it seems, emanated from a big scandal that erupted when Philippe and his investment partners were allocated 1,200 shares or units to develop US $200 million project in the Whitegate area. And why I'd like, and as I got closer to the story, because it's all about transparency. Right now, the government is undertaking the Bassi High School project under the CBI. And we are told that 1,200 shares were issued. 1,200 shares, my straight dog family, at $200,000 per share, I believe it is, for a project costing 80 or 100 million EC dollars. So you see where this money is going, and nobody wants to change it. And I'm saying, my straight dog family, that we ought to know the facts. That Lucifer Wilkin must release the affidavit so the public can see. We don't believe him otherwise. Not at all. We don't believe him. The excessive borrowing and unsustainable spending is going to lead to crippling debt, economic instability, and even government collapse, my straight dog family. But there's a storm looming on the St. Kitts and Nevis horizon. Since Philippe Martinez is in the possession of the Bank of America statements, you understand that Douglas built a financial empire, and he had plenty of time to build it. Questions were asked whether it was true about his hurried appointment of the mother of his children as the Consul General in the UAE. But my straight talk family, we have heeded to take the warning. We failed to heed, or rather to take the warning. Now the chickens have come home to roost. On the team unity, questions were also asked about corruption, money laundering, and fraud, which some consider was huge. Martinez met Drew and advised him when he was leaving, but Drew invited him to cabinet. It is July and his administration that is troubling us most, especially since the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin issued a press release as the chief legal advisor that put him in hot pickle, my straight dog family. Prime Minister Dr. July, upon the advice of Garth Lucifer Wilkin, signed applications which they both confirmed were illegal. We the people deserve to see the affidavit that was filed in the court. Full transparency is what the people demand and expect honesty from those elected and or appointed to serve us, my straight dog family. And once trust is broken, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild and would lead to long-term consequences that are not good. Prime Minister July and his chief advisor, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, and in fact his entire cabinet, must take responsibility for their actions. And my straight dog family, Philippe Martin claimed that he got the accounts. He also confirmed tonight that he will subpoena more accounts. And we want and we look forward to get that information to see who was ripping off this country. Someone asked me for this. I hope I have the right soundbite.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Ian.
Yes, sir.
This is Mikhail Ianek Liburd.
This is who?
This is your son they're talking about. What does that mean?
Yep.
The point is, I was caught up in a political game where they said I did something. I was at the scene, I did nothing, And they said because I'm Pakistan and Patches is working for the government and they want to try to take down Patches. But you are doing a good work and keep up the good work. Be strong. I know the whole world is listening to me. Come at me in all several ways. So many ways they try to come at me. And now I have changed my life and look what they're doing. My father now is make a change and trying to bring the country together to unity. And look what they have done. They tried to bring up my past, but they wouldn't break me and they shouldn't break you, my father. Okay? You be strong, stay on the radio, do the work. You know what I mean? Because the liar have no memory. And you always taught me that. And don't care what they do. Don't let them break you. I will stay strong and you be strong too, my father.
Yes, that's what was requested. My son, may his soul rest in peace. His birthday would have been a few days ago. His birthday would have been today. What am I saying? Today. And so, he implored me to be strong. And let us be clear. Let us understand that I will be strong. And let us understand that even if an unscrupulous leader is called Prime Minister, even if the other unscrupulous one is called Deputy Prime Minister, another one is called Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the other one who owns Capis and Bass Global, even the soccer engineer who will get information from inside, and even if one is called Attorney General, once, my Straight Dog family, once they have indulged in fraud, corruption, and money laundering, and they must agree that a CBI scam with another name is still a scam. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, those who looked at Facebook, YouTube, those on Alexa. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. And whatever your mind conceive, my Straight Talk family, that you will achieve. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. Be good to all whom you meet, like I said, and also be good to yourselves. So, when you wake in the morning again, just thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, do like I said, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Thursday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light.
And you know, I forgot that quotation. I forgot that quotation, my children. I'm not a thief. I'm just really good at acquiring things that are not.
And from my mother's breath of life, that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow, down on my knees. The Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep, and my guide, over every step I take, He will preside. moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Now I'm on my way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with his love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceive, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good.